Today I would like to invite you to listen to the Dhammapada of the Buddha Shakyamuni. 151 verses from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel Thien Thai in the USA. Even ornamented royal chariots wear out. So too the body reaches old age. But the Dhamma of the good grows not old. Thus do the good reveal it among the good. The Blessed One spoke this verse to awaken awareness of the impermanence of worldly possessions, power, and the body, while pointing to the enduring nature of the Dhamma. In ancient times, a young prince once admired the royal chariots of his kingdom, marveling at their strength, decoration, and the prestige they conveyed. He would ride with pride, feeling the admiration of onlookers and taking comfort in the chariot's splendor. One day, a wise monk visited the palace and, seeing the prince's attachment, guided him to reflect upon the chariot's impermanence. He said, "Even these ornate and powerful chariots, admired by many, will wear, rust, and crumble. They cannot prevent the passage of time or the decay of all things." The prince observed this teaching and began to reflect upon the human body, recognizing that it too is subject to aging, illness, and death. Youth, strength, and beauty, like the chariot, are temporary. The monk taught him that while the body wears out, the Dhamma, the truth, virtue, and insight cultivated by the good, grows not old. The wisdom, compassion, and ethical living cultivated through practice are imperishable and can be shared, remembered, and embodied by others, generation after generation. Inspired by this insight, the young prince turned from attachment to worldly splendor toward the cultivation of virtue, mindfulness, and wisdom. He observed that while physical strength fades, insight into the Dhamma provides enduring guidance, clarity, and liberation. He sought the company of the good, those who had realized virtue, wisdom, and compassion, and learned from their example. Through this association, he cultivated the Dhamma in his own life, sharing kindness, ethical conduct, and insight with others, and discovering that the teachings of the good are timeless, unchanging, and endlessly nourishing. The prince reflected that human beings often cling to appearance, wealth, and strength, forgetting that all these qualities are temporary. Like royal chariots, the body ages, the senses fade, and the world changes, yet the Dhamma remains. This understanding inspired humility, patience, and diligent practice. The prince observed his own body, noting the signs of aging, the fluctuations of health, and the impermanence of strength and vitality. Each sensation, each moment of weakness or discomfort, became an opportunity to cultivate mindfulness and insight. The Dhamma, however, remained constant, a source of clarity, guidance, and inspiration that could be embodied and shared with others. Witnessing the passing of time, he realized the futility of attachment to the body or to material possessions, and he devoted himself to cultivating qualities that endure. Ethical conduct, meditation, compassion, and insight became his treasure, providing stability and peace even as the body aged. The verse emphasizes that the good reveal the Dhamma among the good, teaching and practicing what is timeless and nurturing wisdom, virtue, and compassion in themselves and others. In daily life, the prince began to see that the Dhamma is not merely knowledge to be learned, but a living, embodied practice. By observing impermanence and aging, he trained the mind to remain steady, the heart to remain gentle, and life to be an expression of wisdom and compassion. The royal chariots, admired by many, eventually wore down. Yet the cultivation of the Dhamma in his life provided enduring guidance. He extended this understanding to all beings, recognizing that everyone faces aging, illness, and mortality. By sharing virtue, compassion, and insight, the prince learned to contribute to the world in a way that transcends impermanence, cultivating qualities that benefit others long after physical forms fade. Each day became a field for reflection, meditation, and ethical living. The body's changes reminded him that external form cannot provide lasting happiness, and the impermanence of the world encouraged him to cultivate the mind and heart. Pleasure, health, and beauty were observed without attachment, suffering without aversion, and the mind rested in clarity. Awareness of impermanence inspired diligence, patience, and compassion, allowing insight to deepen and ethical conduct to flourish. The prince realized that the Dhamma, practiced and shared, grows not old. It is revealed among the good, passed from teacher to student, from one practitioner to another, nurturing insight, virtue, and compassion through generations. While the body ages and the material world changes, the cultivation of the Dhamma provides enduring stability and wisdom. By following this teaching, the young prince lived with humility, clarity, and generosity, observing the impermanence of the body and the timelessness of virtue. He trained his mind in mindfulness, ethical conduct, concentration, and insight, using each moment of life to awaken understanding and cultivate compassion. Through association with the good, reflection on impermanence, and diligent practice, he embodied the Dhamma, demonstrating that the truth and virtue cultivated in life transcends the limitations of the body. This awareness transformed ordinary life into continuous practice where each action, thought, and word became an expression of timeless insight and enduring goodness. By reflecting upon the royal chariots, the aging body, and the imperishable Dhamma, he understood that attachment to form and worldly possessions leads to suffering, while ethical living, mindfulness, and insight lead to lasting freedom and clarity. The Dhamma of the good is not bound by time, and by practicing and revealing it among the good, the practitioner cultivates wisdom, virtue, and compassion that benefit oneself and all beings. The young prince reflected further on the Buddha's teaching, seeing clearly that even the most splendid and ornamented chariots, celebrated for their strength, beauty, and craftsmanship, are impermanent. Over time, wheels wear down, wood splinters, and metal rusts. The admiration of onlookers fades as time passes, leaving the chariot as nothing more than old wood and dust. In the same way, the human body, no matter how strong, youthful, or beautiful, is subject to aging, sickness, and death. The prince observed his own body with mindfulness, noticing the subtle signs of change, the slow waning of energy, the occasional aches, and the impermanence of youthful vitality. In witnessing this, he understood that attachment to physical form, possessions, or social prestige is a source of delusion and suffering. For all such things are temporary and beyond ultimate control. Yet, as he reflected, he recognized the Dhamma of the good as something entirely different. The teachings of virtue, mindfulness, insight, and compassion endure. They are not affected by time, decay, or death. The prince saw that when the good practice the Dhamma, they cultivate qualities of mind and heart that are timeless. Ethical conduct, patience, generosity, and wisdom can be practiced, remembered, and shared across lifetimes, influencing countless beings. This truth inspired him to turn attention away from external appearances and worldly pride toward inner cultivation. Seeing that the imperishable treasure lies not in fleeting beauty or fleeting wealth, but in the cultivation of mind and heart. The prince began to live each day with diligence, observing each thought, word, and action. He cultivated mindfulness in every activity, whether walking, eating, speaking, or resting, understanding that these ordinary actions could be transformed into expressions of wisdom and virtue. The impermanence of the body reminded him to value each moment, to practice compassion toward others, and to cultivate understanding. Observing others, he saw that all beings experience aging, sickness, and the decay of beauty and strength. Pride, jealousy, and attachment often arise in response to comparison and desire. The prince reflected that the Dhamma offers freedom from these tendencies. Ethical living, meditation, and insight nurture qualities that remain steadfast, even as the body changes. By following the example of the good, who practice and reveal the Dhamma among one another, he learned to cultivate virtues that transcend impermanence. This cultivation brought clarity and peace to his mind, gentleness to his heart, and steadiness to his actions. He understood that while the body will inevitably grow old, the Dhamma practiced with diligence and shared with others grows not old. Insight, virtue, and compassion endure, guiding life in every circumstance and benefiting countless beings. Each day became a field for reflection, practice, and observation. Pleasure and comfort were met without attachment, discomfort without aversion, and each experience became a teacher. Observing the impermanence of strength, beauty, and vitality inspired humility and patience. Observing the impermanence of wealth, status, and prestige inspired detachment and generosity. Through these reflections, the prince's understanding deepened. He realized that the Dhamma is living, not merely words to be memorized or admired. When practiced and embodied, it manifests in ethical living, mindfulness, and compassion. When revealed among the good, it inspires others to cultivate insight, virtue, and generosity, creating a continuity of awakening that transcends the limitations of form and time. The prince dedicated himself to walking this path, cultivating wisdom, insight, and compassion in each moment. He observed his own mind and heart, understanding that the impermanence of the body and the world need not bring suffering, but can inspire awakening, diligence, and ethical conduct. Through daily reflection, mindfulness, and compassionate action, he experienced the enduring power of the Dhamma. The impermanence of worldly things, the body, possessions, and status, became a mirror reflecting the preciousness of inner cultivation. By living in harmony with this insight, he embodied the Dhamma in his thoughts, words, and deeds. The prince realized that the good reveal the Dhamma among the good not merely to teach, but to inspire practice, understanding, and liberation. By following this guidance, one cultivates insight that endures beyond the limitations of the body, benefiting oneself and all beings. Life, though fleeting and impermanent, became a sacred field for practice. Every moment offered opportunity to cultivate mindfulness, ethical conduct, and compassion. reinforcing the timeless and imperishable nature of the Dhamma of the good. Through this reflection, the prince experienced clarity of mind, gentleness of heart, and a deepening sense of peace, seeing that the Dhamma, unlike the body or worldly possessions, grows not old. The young prince, having reflected upon the impermanence of the body and the transience of worldly treasures, began to understand the incomparable value of the Dhamma. Even as the royal chariots, gleaming with ornament and power, wear out, even as the body ages, weakens, and ultimately returns to the earth, the teachings of the good remain alive, vibrant, and unfading. The prince observed that attachment to physical form, wealth, or honor only prolongs suffering, for these things cannot protect against time, sickness, or death. The Dhamma, however, nurtured in the mind and heart, grows steadily and unshaken. He reflected upon the lives of those around him, the young and the old, the rich and the poor, and saw that all, regardless of appearance, power, or position, are subject to the same laws of impermanence. The recognition of this truth inspired a deep humility, a softening of pride, and a turn inward toward the cultivation of ethical conduct, mindfulness, and compassion. Each moment of life, whether in comfort or difficulty, became a precious opportunity to practice the Dhamma. Observing the aging of his own body, he noted the slow waning of strength, the subtle changes of the senses, and the inevitable decline that time brings. Yet with this observation came insight. The body, though temporary, can be trained to support the mind in cultivating enduring qualities. Strength and vitality may fade, but the mind can grow in clarity, compassion, and wisdom. The prince began to cultivate patience with the body, observing sensations without aversion or attachment, using each experience to deepen mindfulness and insight. He recognized that suffering, illness, and aging are not punishments, but natural teachers guiding the practitioner to understand impermanence and to awaken the mind. In the palace and in the surrounding kingdom, he observed the impermanence of all things. Buildings crumble, wealth is lost, and power passes from one generation to another. Like the chariots that once gleamed, all worldly things are subject to decay. This observation strengthened his determination to focus on what is enduring, the cultivation of virtue, mindfulness, and insight into the nature of reality. The prince came to understand that the Dhamma of the good is like a river flowing through time. Though the waters of the body and of worldly life may change, the river of truth continues unbroken, nourishing all who approach it with diligence and sincerity. He sought the company of those who had cultivated the Dhamma, the good, learning from their example, and practicing what he observed in them. Ethical conduct, compassion, patience, and wisdom became the treasures of his life, surpassing all temporal wealth and power. Each interaction became an opportunity to practice mindfulness, to observe the arising and passing of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, and to cultivate equanimity. The prince realized that even the admiration of others, the pride of accomplishment, and the pleasure of bodily strength are fleeting, and that true stability lies in the Dhamma. Through meditation and reflection, he deepened insight into the impermanent nature of form and the enduring quality of virtue. He noted that when the good reveal the Dhamma among one another, they do not only teach words, but inspire the practice of ethical living, mindfulness, and compassion. This revelation creates a lineage of wisdom, an unbroken continuity of awakening that transcends time, body, and circumstance. The prince, practicing diligently, experienced that the imperishable Dhamma transforms the mind, purifies the heart, and awakens understanding. The awareness of impermanence brought urgency to practice. Each day, each breath, each action became a moment to cultivate clarity, loving-kindness, and insight. He saw that by training the mind in this way, he could live fully, even as the body ages and changes, and that he could extend the benefits of practice to all beings. Through reflection on the impermanence of the body and the world, the prince learned to meet pleasure without attachment, pain without aversion, and life with mindfulness. He recognized that all beings share the same vulnerability to time, sickness, and death, and this awareness nourished compassion. By cultivating virtue, ethical conduct, and insight, he participated in the timeless Dhamma, revealing it among the good and benefiting countless beings across generations. The impermanence of the body and worldly things became a mirror reflecting the path of practice, a reminder to focus on what truly endures. Through awareness, reflection, and compassionate action, he discovered that the Dhamma is not merely knowledge, but a living, embodied truth that guides life, nurtures awakening, and transcends the limitations of the body. Each moment of life became a sacred field for practice, a chance to awaken understanding, to extend kindness, and to cultivate the imperishable treasures of wisdom, virtue, and compassion. The prince saw that while the royal chariots wear out and the body ages, the Dhamma of the good remains vibrant, steadfast, and timeless, guiding every thought, word, and action toward awakening. Thank you for watching my video. Namo Amitba. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time.